If you have an iPhone, then you've almost certainly run out of power at some point. A smart solution for that is a MagSafe power bank like this. But they no longer need to be as thick as this one. This was actually the thinnest one you could get when I bought it, but since then, a lot has actually happened. And Anker has just launched their newest Nano model that's both significantly thinner and can charge twice as fast as my old one, thanks to the Qi 2 standard. But even though it's thinner, it still has the same 5000 mAh capacity as my old one. See, that almost sounds too good to be true. So in this video, I'll investigate how it works on both an old iPhone 12 Pro, on last year's iPhone 16 Pro, and also on the brand new iPhone 17 Pro. I'll also test it with the ultra-thin iPhone Air to see if it can deliver better performance than Apple's own MagSafe battery pack. You know the feeling. You're on vacation and your phone acts as your GPS, camera, encyclopedia, and payment card, often in bright sunlight so the screen is running at full blast. Or maybe you're at a conference, constantly using your phone for notes, pictures, emails, and online meetings. It could also be that your phone is just a couple of years old and the battery isn't what it used to be. But whatever the case, a MagSafe power bank can be a smart solution because it can attach to the phone and charge it without using a cable. The only thing it requires is that you have an iPhone with MagSafe. That means an iPhone 12 or newer. But until now, most power banks have been a bit clumsy to look at. So I was pretty excited when Anker said they would send me their newest Nano model, which was supposed to be significantly thinner. So let's start by unboxing it so we can see just how thin it really is. They have pull tabs on the back. Looks like they've learned a thing or two from Apple. Ups, that one wasn't quite so easy to get off. And that one was much better. There we go. Then I'll just open it up here and there's a little tray I can just slide out. Oh, it looks like I opened it upside down. It fell out the other side here. Very Apple-like with this thing that's wrapped around it. A little harder to get off, but okay. Let's just get that packaging out of the way too. See, there we have it. The new Nano Powerbank from Anker. And I must say, it is a lot thinner and a bit more handy than my old power bank. And it's quite impressive that it's supposed to have the same capacity. That'll be really interesting to test. You can just see a comparison. If I just take my very old iPhone 12 Pro here and slap this one on. So this is what it looks like with Anker's new Nano Power Bank. And should we just see it with the old one? Yeah, a bit more clumsy, right? Now that it's so much thinner, it'll be exciting to see how much energy it can actually deliver in practice. And to test that, I've run 4 different iPhones down to 10%. My trusty old iPhone 12 Pro here, my iPhone 16 Pro, the brand new iPhone 17 Pro, and the also brand new and ultra-thin iPhone Air. And then I'll charge each of them and see how much power I can actually get into the battery and how much time it takes. Let's start with the iPhone 12 Pro. It has the smallest battery of the 4 phones, so it should be able to get the most power. I've set a timer to run next to the phones while they charge, because otherwise it would be a little hard to show that anything is happening. But actually, the time is not that important because normally you wouldn't leave your phone on the power bank like I do in this test. The whole idea of a MagSafe power bank is that you can use your phone normally while you charge it. And when it's as thin as this one, it actually feels very natural to hold in your hand. But let's see how much power we can get. After half an hour, the iPhone 12 Pro is already at 44%. So I've got a full 34% extra power on the battery in just 30 minutes. Not bad. That's also a lot more than the phone would normally lose in 30 minutes of use. So even if I didn't just leave the phone stationary on the charger like this, but used it like I'm supposed to, I would still be able to get extra power on the battery. After the first hour has passed, the iPhone 12 Pro reports that it is now at 64%, so I have gained another 30%. And the new feature in iOS 26 that estimates charging time says that I should reach 80% charge within a quarter of an hour, but I don't think that seems entirely realistic. And no, after another 15 minutes we are at 73%, so the new charging estimate is not so accurate. After 2 hours, the phone has reached 94%. Funnily enough, the new number that appears above the clock on iOS 26 says 93%. I don't know why there's a difference between the two numbers, but there's still power on the power bank, so I keep the test running. When I check the phone after 2.5 hours, it's already fully charged. but there's still power on the Anker Nano, so I drain the phone back down to 80% and continue the test to see how much more I can charge. When the Anker Nano is finally completely empty, the phone is back up to 94%, so I've gained another 14% on the battery. Since I started charging at 10%, this means that the power bank can actually more than double the iPhone 12 Pro's battery capacity. Excellent. It probably can't do that with the iPhone 16 Pro because it has a significantly larger battery than the 12. A whopping 3,582 mAh against only 2,815. But let's see just how far we actually get. After waiting for half an hour, the phone shows a battery level of 40%, which is a slightly lower percentage than what we observed with the 12 Pro. But as I mentioned, this device also has a much larger battery capacity. iOS 26 estimates that I will reach 80% in about 44 minutes, so after a total of an hour and a quarter. Now we'll see if it's as wrong as it was on the 12 Pro. And yes, it takes about half an hour longer than the phone's initial estimate to reach 80%. But we're not here to test iOS 26, but to see how much power I can get on the phone with the little Anker Nano Powerbank. So let's continue. After 10 more minutes, we're up to 84%, but there's still a little left in the power bank, so I let the test continue. And when the charging finally stops, the phone has reached 92%, so I filled the battery with a full 82% extra. Now we come to the newest iPhone, the iPhone 17 Pro. It has the largest battery of the four phones, 3,988 mAh, so it probably ends up with a slightly lower max percentage than the iPhone 16 Pro. And now you may be wondering why the power bank can't fill the battery completely, especially since its capacity is 5,000 mAh. But that's because there is a fairly large charge loss when wireless charging. That's also why Apple's new MagSafe battery pack for the iPhone Air can only add about 65% extra, even though teardowns have shown that the battery in it is pretty much the same as the one inside the phone itself. That's why it's an advantage to have a power bank with a somewhat higher capacity than the phone you're charging, which is precisely the case with the Anker Nano. After exactly 30 minutes, the iPhone 17 Pro has reached 34%, so again a little less than the previous phone. But since the 17 Pro's battery is also 11% larger than the 16 Pro's, it's not that surprising. After the first hour, the phone estimates that I will reach 80% in another 41 minutes. In that case, that would be 5 minutes faster than the 16 Pro, so I don't think that's going to work. And no, after 2 hours there's still a bit of a way to go, but the power bank is almost empty, so let's see if we reach 80%. It takes another 14 minutes before the charging finally stops, and we've actually passed 80%. The iPhone 17 Pro ends at 85%, so I've been able to add a full 75% extra charge to the battery with the Anker Nano. That's actually more than Apple's own battery pack can add to the iPhone Air, which even has a much smaller battery than the 17 Pro. That really bodes well for the final test. Anker's new power bank is only 8.6 millimeters thick, which is almost the same as Apple's new battery pack. That one is only 0.8 millimeters thinner, but on the other hand, Apple's battery pack is a lot longer, and that is why it only fits the iPhone Air. You don't have that limitation with the Anker Nano because it fits all iPhones with MagSafe. Apple promises, as I said, that their battery pack can add 65% extra power to the iPhone Air. So now it will be exciting to see how much the Anker Nano can add. As in the previous tests, I have discharged the phone to 10%, so I would like to be able to get above 75% if we are to beat Apple's new battery pack. Based on what I have seen so far, that should be possible. Now I am just excited to see how high we can go. The first 30 minutes are up and the Air is already at 40%. That's not because it charges faster than the 17 Pro, but because it has a much smaller battery of only 3,149 mAh. After an hour, the phone is up to 55%, and after an hour and a half, it reaches the 75% that's supposed to be the maximum with Apple's battery pack. After 2 hours, the phone is at 88%, but the Anker Nano isn't empty yet. When the charging finally stops, the iPhone Air has reached all the way up to 98%. So, just as expected, the Anker Nano can deliver much more power than Apple's own battery pack. And that's even in a package that isn't much bigger, and which also fits all iPhones with MagSafe. And by the way, it also costs less than half of Apple's offering, a nice little bonus if you ask me. If you'd like to know more about the Anker Nano Powerbank, I've put a link to it down in the description, or you can scan the QR code right over there. And otherwise, well, I'll just say thanks for watching. See you soon.